Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Alain. We're going to talk about The Smashing Machine this morning. New movie starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. I went and saw it the other night in the theater. I'm going to talk a little bit about it today. Hope everybody's week is going well. Hope you're enjoying the fall weather. Chuseok yesterday, the Korean holiday. Had a really nice Korean meal last night that the wife made. Not quite what we'd have if we were in Korea, where she could have more ingredients and her sisters and everybody helping. But it was still a great meal last night. Dixon's here. Before we talk about the movie, we'll see what Dixon's up to. Dixon said, kind of a nerdy point to make, but today is the 11th show since the 1,000 milestone. In binary, 11 equals 10. Thanks, Dixon. And we're still going strong. So we got all these shows and we're still going strong. I didn't have an MMA mug this morning, but I did have a boxing, one of my Rocky mugs. Thought that was appropriate to be talking about Mark Kerr. That's what the movie The Smashing Machine is about. Now, there was a Netflix series years ago called The Smashing Machine about Mark Kerr. But there's a new movie, and this is the new movie, starring Dwayne Johnson as Mark Kerr. Has Emily Blunt playing Dawn, Mark's girlfriend, later became his wife for a while, then they divorced. Has Ryan Bader playing Mark Coleman. And what I thought was really interesting with Boss Rutan being himself. Boss played himself, even though at 60 years old, and he was playing himself 25 years ago, because this movie is set in the late 90s. And I knew who Mark Kerr and Mark Coleman were back then, but I wasn't a big fan of either of them. I would probably say I liked Coleman better than Kerr back when I was watching some of the Ultimate Fighting Championship and Pride and some of the mixed martial art fighting. But I wasn't a huge fan of either of them. And I didn't watch that earlier biography about Mark Kerr called The Smashing Machine. So I didn't know much about the story. I thought the movie was very well done. Different type of role for Dwayne Johnson. And I thought he did a good job. And, the makeup and stuff to make him look more like Mark Kerr, I thought they did a good job at that. Emily Blunt did a great job playing Dawn, the volatile relationship that the two had. And the movie shows the drug use and the volatile relationship and some of the troubles that Mark Kerr went through. In the movie, I sort of liked Mark Coleman better. He was the good friend trying to help Mark Kerr. And always liked Boss. So it's sort of cool to see him in there as himself. The movie is a little slow at times. It's one my wife, she's not interested in MMA, and she would have been really bored because it is slower at times. It's not as hard hitting and with the fights and stuff as you might expect. But they did tell the story well. And if you're into MMA and you want to know a little bit more about that world and maybe the world of addiction and volatile relationships, it's a good story. Not a movie I would want to watch over and over again. Seeing it once was plenty. And I'm glad I saw it. Don't get me wrong. I liked it. I thought it was well done. I thought it was a good story to tell his story, but not a movie I would go see over and over. And one of the very interesting things I thought, the very, very end, they show Mark Kerr, not Dwayne Johnson as Mark Kerr, but Mark shopping at a supermarket and taking his groceries out to his truck. And they do that while they're putting some statistics up there about what happened to him. But showing that, now he's my age and just a regular guy going to the store, getting his groceries and driving away. So even though at the time he was huge, popular fighter and stuff, now he's just a regular guy. So it was interesting how they told the story and ended it on that note. So if you like the MMA world and you want to see a little bit about what it was like back in the 90s, and you want to show about addiction, overcoming addiction, volatile relationships, and some of that, you would like the movie. I have not read reviews. I don't know how well it is doing, but this is not a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, big, giant, big hero, save the day, lots of special effects stuff. This is Dwayne Johnson portraying an actual person, and I thought he did a good job at it. And I really think Emily Blunt did a good job playing that volatile girlfriend, Dawn. And I liked Ryan playing Mark Coleman as a good friend, trying to help his friend. And Boss is always cool. So I like the cast. I like the movie. And I'm glad I saw it. That's my take on it without giving too much away. But if you know the story of Mark Kerr, if you've seen the biography or if you followed him back then, you sort of know it. So there's not a lot that could be spoiled, for some of this. That's my take. Thad's here and said good morning. Thank you, Thad. Appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that watches. Remember to go to enjoylifesafely.com. Get signed up for the newsletter if you haven't done that yet. Check out the free resources there. You can also check out the courses. Don't cost much, but a lot of value. They help you out, whether it's helping you get back up when you've been knocked down in life or help you keep your, help you keep yourself and your family safe in this crazy world we're living in. Also a free guide on awareness there you can get, and 25 safety and self-defense tips. You can download all the free stuff and get all of that just to help you. And the newsletter will help you each week too. Go out, make it a terrific Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow on Wednesday with a little bit of warrior wisdom.